what can we do? There's books, random acts of kindness. So I go, yeah, we got to do stuff. We got to find ways that we can empower people. So here's some stuff that I started to do. Blows me away how simple it is, and it works. Number one thing, going to work every morning. Here's what I used to do, right? I used to park my car, get out, we have an elevator, I'm on the 3rd, 4th floor. Sometimes I would do this. It's true, I used to do this. I'd see someone coming down there, and the elevator would come, and the door would open, and I'd go in quick and push the 3rd floor, so I didn't have to go up the elevator with them. Or her. Okay, I'll admit, sometimes it was a cool-looking lady, I might have held the door, but really not. And I'd go, Jim, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing that? Why are you so, you're not afraid of people? But I swear to God, I'm walking here, and I said, they're coming. Like I was Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. I get in there, push the button, yes, I made it! I'm going up the elevator alone. And I go, that's not acts of kindness. So I said, what would happen if I turned that around? So here's what I tried. Once Jeff and I started talking, so I'd go into work, I'd kind of pray for people to be with me. A lot of times I'd go, come on man, I'm getting tired of waiting, I gotta go to work. No one would come. And they would come, and they would expect me, or any other person, to run into the elevator, slam the door, push the button, go up. I would help. Are you going up, man? Are you going up? Yes, okay, come on. Hold it up, close up. Yes, sir. 15 minutes later, everyone's, come on. One more, we can do this. Elevator capacity 15. One more, we can do this. Come. Now picture this. I'm not making this up, this is real stuff. 10, 15 people are in the elevator. Here's what I say. You know, I can always tell what kind of day I'm going to have by the people I go up in the elevator with. And as I look around, I think I'm going to have a pretty good day. And everyone bursts out in a smile and goes,
okay, now, so we're talking about first world issues. These are things that we consider are problems in our lives. And because we have so much, like I mentioned, it's a materialistic world. But there's another part to this. And that part is we don't not appreciate the things we have. For example, let's take our senses, our sight, our hearing, okay? All those things we don't take for granted. And maybe we put that sound, we're listening to music and we put it full blast. Okay? And next thing you know, when we're 30, we have a problem with our hearing. Or our sight, we say, oh, I don't care, it's not going to affect me, and I look into the sun. All these things are special gifts given to us by God. And it's our responsibility to take care of them so we can create our mission that God created for us. Okay? Because you do have something inside you that's eternally special, and you do have a purpose on this earth. So I just want to talk to you about this. This is, I saw this on YouTube about a year ago. And what happens is a story about a blind man. And the blind man was sitting, and he can't see. He had his can there, and he said, please help me, I'm blind. So now imagine, if you can, or picture the situation where these people are walking by, and they're so busy, they're taking care of their own lives. They don't really care that much about what's going on in his life, and the fact that he doesn't have vision, right? So they're walking by, and they're just going, and they're not really worrying about it. And every once in a while, someone puts some change to help them out, right? But not a lot, right? Then what happened was this one girl, she came by, and she took a sign, and she changed it, and she wrote something different. And then, as he continued to sit there, more people came by, and they read the new sign. He didn't know what it said, but people started to donate more and more and more. And he couldn't figure it out, that all of a sudden, his sign was there, and no one's doing anything. And then they changed the sign, and all of a sudden people are donating like right and left. And as they walk by, everyone's feeling sorry for him and giving him money. Later that day, the same lady came back. And the way he knew her is he felt her shoes. Because he says, what are you doing? Okay? And she said, I'm just changing your sign. And then she went off. Came back, he felt her shoes again. And then he said to her, what did you do? What was it that you did that made people start giving? And she says, I wrote the same thing, but I just wrote it a little differently. And this is what he wrote. It's a beautiful day, and I can't see it. As opposed to, I'm blind, please help me. So he made the people see things differently. Because now they say, hey, wait a minute here, I have my sight, he can't see the beautiful day I can see. I appreciate the fact that I have my sight. I'm more willing to give now. Because I'm not taking my sight for granted anymore. I now truly appreciate what I have. And that's what we have to understand. And I'll say this a couple of times this afternoon. The vision of one world will cost you the vision of the other. So if you have a world where you're angry, you're negative, you're ego-based, and ego, the word ego, is easing God out, meaning making God not part of your life. Okay? If you're in a situation where you're separate from other people, you don't look at everybody in this room and think of them as your family. Okay? If you care only about materialistic things, that's negative. If you care only about yourself, that's negative. But if you want to switch it and turn the vision, so someone who only sees one world, only sees the negative world, only sees the bad in the world, they're going to feel depressed and upset. But what happens is if you start seeing the positive things, you start being more positive, you're going to attract all that positive things into your lives. That's a really important message to remember. The vision of one world will cost you the vision of the other.
That you have. You need one thing. And it doesn't cost money. Woo! Lucky it doesn't cost money. You can't touch it. But it's going to affect how you feel. You can't see it. But every time you look in the mirror, it's there. You can't hear it. But every time you talk about yourself, it's there. You can't hear it. But every time you think about yourself, it's there. I just gotta find it. It's called self-esteem.
So pretty in the sky are also on the faces of people walking by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, well, I think